In this video, we're going to talk about what is a graft. Now, this is a term that's used a lot in hair transplantation with wildly different meanings. There's a lot of misinformation, so we're going to clarify some of that today. The simplest definition of a graft is a piece of skin containing hair. In follicular unit graft hair transplant procedures, those pieces of skin contain a follicular unit. So, what's a follicular unit? If you shave down hair on the head and look at it closely, it grows in little clusters. The hair is not evenly distributed across the skin. These little clusters can contain 1 hair, 2 hairs, 3 hairs, and even 4 hairs, separated by some skin from other clusters. We call that cluster a follicular unit. And in follicular unit grafting, we move the intact cluster of hair. On average, a follicular unit graft contains about 2.5 hairs. So, if you're getting a procedure with 1,000 grafts, you should expect somewhere around 2,500 hairs. There's some ethnic variations with that. Asians typically have a little bit lower density. Blondes have a little bit higher. But as a reference point, 2.5 hairs per graft is a good reference point. Now, when hair transplant procedures evolved to follicular units, there was a quantum leap in the naturalness of the procedure. Because, as we just talked about, we weren't changing the arrangement of the hair. We were moving the intact unit to a new location. So it was much more natural than the older procedures. But something else good also happened. We increased the survivability of the hair. If you preserve the follicular unit, there's a much lower chance of transecting hairs in the transplantation process, and therefore more of those hairs survive. So follicular unit grafting results in not only a more natural look, but more hair surviving. And isn't that the point of a whole hair transplant procedure? So as you're researching hair transplant procedures, and you see the term graft used, you need to ask yourself a few questions. Are these follicular unit grafts? And if so, does that practice divide those grafts? That's a bad idea. It's going to impact the survivability of the hair. There's no other way around it, and it's a practice that we don't engage in here at Samson, nor do we encourage it elsewhere.